What up? What up? How's everybody doing tonight? On tonight we have Team Muddy. Mr. Costa, nice to see ya. How's your weekend, Chris? You have a good weekend, bud? Fucking camera. Stay. Trail Boss Brand, welcome. Oh, I worked all weekend. I just got off work. So it wasn't the best weekend, but what can you do? There he is, Team Muddy. All right, let's get him in here. Should do my little intro. Welcome everybody to episode 9 of the Behind the Bars podcast. And tonight's special guest is Team Muddy. Let's get him in here, shall we? HB Off-Road's in the building. What up?
What's good, man?
Oh, got off work.
Yeah.
Here, I fucking adjust myself. Oh, fucking split screen. How was your weekend, brother?
Not too bad. I just got home from Florida yesterday morning. And just been relaxing.
So before we get into the whole Florida trip, let's start with your name, what you do for a living, and where you live, bud.
My name's Jesse. I live in Hamilton, Ontario. I own and operate a construction company that I got passed down from my father. And, yeah, just based in Hamilton. We do a bunch of riding around here. Yeah.
So tell us about this Florida trip. I seen all the videos, and that's something I really want to do.
So yeah, this is the second year that me and the group have been doing it. There's 3 of us in the team, and we went down last year for Hogwaller Turkey Bog, and we did it again this year. And we go down. Last year was 2 weeks. This year we extended the trip a little bit, and we did a full month down there. So we stayed at the Swamp Ranch with Colt Jean. We rode there. We went to Hogwaller for Turkey Bog for their Thanksgiving weekend. And then we went back to the Swamp Ranch for another week. And then we went to Redneck Yacht Club in Punta Gorda, Florida for their Trucks Gone Wild event. And then back to the Swamp Ranch again for another week. And then drove home.
So it sounds like you're living the fucking dream.
Yeah, we try to have fun, and we do it like once or twice a year, and we try to make the best of it. But we mostly ride around here like all year long. We ride Skag up with Colin and all those boys up north in Lingham. And I have a cottage up in Bancroft, which is about, I'm going to say an hour north of where Colin lives. We do some riding up there. And one of our team members, Wellsy95 on Instagram, he lives like right there in Marmor, so we do a bunch of riding up there too. And the other team member, Jesse Hood in 1997 on Instagram, he's our other member. And he lives right down the road from me, and he's been my best friend for a long time. And we ride around here like pretty much every weekend. And we'll go down to like Niagara and ride with the South of Six boys down there, and we'll ride anywhere pretty much.
So who's all in the Team Mud A crew? Yourself and two others. Who are the other two guys?
Wellsy95, Luke Wells, and Jesse Hood 1997 on Instagram.
So do you have your own Instagram, or is this kind of your Instagram?
This is my Instagram, and then I don't have a personal Instagram. I just have one for the company, and it's, if you look in the bio, there's 3 of us. It's, the other one is Gravel Hauler 05. That's like my business account, but I don't have like a personal account myself.
So what made you guys start like Team Mud A?
So I was posting more of quad stuff on my business account, and then one day me and Jesse were just riding around locally, and we got into a few of the wobbly pops, and it just came about that hey, let's just start like a group on Instagram and see where it goes. And so the next day I jumped on Instagram and made an account and labeled it Team Mud A to kind of go with Canada and kind of bring everything together. And then we're going into our like 4th year now, I'd say. 4th year of like being together as a group. Like it was just me and Jesse for, I'm gonna say like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and then we were riding with Wellsy a bunch up Skag area and riding with him a bunch, and he was just by himself on Instagram. So I just approached him, said, hey, do you want to be part of the team? And so then we added the 3rd one, and then from there we started picking up sponsors. And then I was talking with Colt for a couple of years before, and just kind of making a joke of, hey, I'm gonna come down there one day. And I just said it to the boys one day, hey, let's load up and let's go down to Florida. So I bought a 30-foot enclosed trailer that I'm sitting in right now, and I have a Cummins turbo diesel pickup truck, 3500 Dodge. So we hooked up to the trailer, and the 3 of us loaded up last year, and we went down for 2 weeks, and now we're doing it every year, pretty much basing it around their Thanksgiving weekend.
No, that's fucking, yeah, you're living the fucking dream. And the Team Mud A name, I don't know how you came up with that, but that's fucking beauty.
I was just kind of, we were just sitting on the trail one day, and when we were drinking, and we suggested of making a group, I was like, what should we name it? He was like, well, it's got to be like, it's got to start with team. And then I was like, well, what about Team Mud? And then he kind of suggested the A part, and I was like, Team Mud A, that's perfect. It works.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of happened. So it's kind of like me and Jesse, my best friend, he kind of helped me start it. And then also like Colt and my buddy CJ, that on Instagram and YouTube, he's Willie Make It Off-Road. And they kind of suggested to me about making a group and then making an Instagram and into a YouTube and then TikTok videos, and it's just kind of exploded from there. yeah, I just kind of live the life and kind of do it as a hobby and ride whenever we can.
So do you guys have merchandise yet?
Uh, sort of. We did have like a bunch of T-shirts before. We sold out of them, and now we're just kind of doing like merch by order. So if anyone wants them, they can approach us and ask for what size they want, and we'll get them hats, T-shirts, sweaters, pretty much anything really.
Well, I'm approaching you now, and I want all three.
Okay, so like this is our sweater. It's got the logo on the front and back.
Yeah.
And then, well, this was our old logo before, but we changed it. But now it's just pretty much the new logo, and whatever you want, just let me know, and I'll get it for you.
No, I'll be talking to you after the podcast.
Yep,
Figure something out.
sounds good.
So, what made you get into ATVing? Like, how long have you been doing this type of thing? Like, since you were a kid, or something you picked up when you were older? Or
So, my dad kind of has always been in the power sports thing. He was more into snowmobiles, but we always had an ATV around the house and all that. I remember when I was like, fuck, I can't remember, maybe like 5 or 6, and I had an old Yamaha Moto 4. It was like a little 250 Yamaha with no suspension on it. But me and my buddies back in the day, we'd be riding locally around here. The thing didn't have any suspension. It was just solid bars. I was running off of air pressure in the tires for any suspension. I didn't have any snorkels, but I remember I'd be going across like rivers and things, but this thing was just floating on top of the water, and it had paddle rear tires that were factory back in the day, and that was probably when I was like 5 or 6, and then I got out of it for a few years because I didn't really have anything that I wanted to ride, because my dad, like my family had old Bombardier Traxxter 500. It was the old walk-through seat, like grandpa style. And I did not want to get spotted anywhere on that thing. So I was like, no, that thing can be parked in the back of the bush. I don't care. I'm not riding that thing. So I didn't ride for probably 4 or 5 years. And then just randomly, I was just went out and bought it was a 2007 Can-Am Outlander, like Gen 1. And I ran it bone stock. I bought it with a route relocate, already snorkeled, but I ran it on like bone stock tires and everything for probably that summer that I bought it. Then over the winter, I bought a set of 31-inch Moto Havocs from Max, and then I got custom-made crush locks from a guy down in Florida that were steel. I don't like crush locks. Found out exactly like you. I built the bike, took it up to Lingham. Actually, it was the same field that you got a video of in that Dilly wiped out on when he went over. It was that exact field. I remember I went out and I probably got, I'm going to say, maybe a couple 100 feet off the hard, and that thing just sank down, buried. I towed myself out the rest of the day. I was on a winch cable the rest of that day.
Yep.
Went home, ripped off those crush locks, sold them to, well, actually, I kept them for a while, and then I put on just aired assassinators on bead locks. And then I sold that bike and I got this 2020 Renegade. It's behind me, and it was pretty much bone stock, other than the CFAB Rad Relocate that's on there, and it was all Manta green, like bone stock 2020, other than front and rear bumper. I rode it like that for about 2 weeks, and then I started upgrading it. I put assassinators on it. I put full STM clutches on it, and all that jazz. And now I've put a full wrap on it, powder coated it, and everything.
No, you were just like me. I wasn't home a week before I had those crush locks on Marketplace and got rid of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
These ain't the move.
No, they're for Skag. They're not the thing. They're built for like oval track, like pit racing or straight drag pit racing. That's it. They're meant for like sinking down for like the hard pack and just going. And then Skag, there's no bottom.
You can't even crawl with them. I was trying to walk beside my bike and crawl out of the Skag field, and she would just sink. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, they're not Skag's friend. But yeah, so I ran that Outlander for, I'm gonna say, probably like 3 years, and then I just over the no power steering, and it was just an 800R. So I was lacking power, and I seen all the boys out in the Skag field like Fleeter and Project Vengeance and Colin XM Army, and I'm going to say it, but BVS on his Sportsman, and my old Outlander Gen 1, no power steering. I'm out there like working my bag off, and those guys with power steering are laughing and having a grand old time, and I'm sitting there sweating my bag off and working my ass off trying to go where they're going. And so I sold that, and I upgraded to the new 1000 with power steering, and then it's a huge difference. And I'm probably never going to go back to like no power steering bike.
Going from the Outlander to the Renegade, even though you didn't have power steering and shit, did you find the Renegade is a lot more suited for you? Because that's what I'm going to go to, even though I built this fucking POS back here. But I feel like when this is paid off in a year, I'm just going to go Renegade.
Yeah, so the Renegade over an Outlander, I do love the Renegade a lot more because it's more of a, I'm just gonna put this out, like an Outlander to me feels like driving a Hearst or like a land yacht of like a Cadillac, like boat. And then a Renegade is like a Lamborghini sports car or like a Ferrari. They're just huge difference. Like, yeah, an Outlander you stay a lot cleaner on than a Renegade, but the power and light, the weight difference to like an Outlander, it's huge. Probably some people in the chat will probably be bitching at me about that, but
oh no, you can't even bitch because it's literally a boat. Like when I got stuck at Skagtober, I mean, I ripped Brandon's front bumper off his fucking Polaris with him trying to pull me out. Like whenever I got stuck, it was usually two people hooked onto me trying to get me out, because especially with these S3 Power Sports arms, they're like triple the weight from factory. The thing's just a boat. Like once you're stuck, oh my fuck.
Yeah, and like a lot of guys, you can get on a Renegade once you're in the Skag. Like after I put the wrap on, I don't have a back rack right now because I'm gonna get a different one. I was running the Lucky 7 all last year and the year before, But on a Renegade, if you sink down and you're quick enough to stop and skag, you can grab onto that back rack and just like burp the throttle out. And with a Renegade, on a Renegade, 95% of the time she'll walk right out. On an Outlander, because there's a lot of weight difference, you can do the exact same thing, but the Outlander will just sit there and spin and dig yourself down more, and then you're on a winch cable. Like, I can't say much. I've been on a winch cable a lot up in Lingham, but that's because I'll be going across the skag field and I'll sink down and I know the cameras are rolling, so I'll just sit there and bounce my bike off limiter and just throw rooster tails off all 4 tires. And I know the camera's rolling, so then I'm sit there buried and I'll just shut my bike off, walk away from it, and have a couple beverages. And when someone else gets stuck close to me, I'll just walk back out there and we'll just work together and winch the 2 bikes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, there is, like, I do notice a huge difference from riding an Outlander to a Renegade.
And where were you, Skagtober? I remember you told me where you were. Weren't you at the that ATV show or something like that?
Yeah, it was at the Toronto Power Sport or Toronto ATV and Snowmobile Power Sports show. I had a big booth there. I would have loved to come to Skagtober, and I've been there every other year. And this year I got the opportunity to have a booth in there and just get the name out a little bit more. So I took that opportunity and they gave me the booth for free. So I couldn't pass it up. And
oh, hell no.
We got a lot of, we got her name out there a lot. And it was kind of a boring weekend because it was just 4 days of sitting there in the booth, handing stickers out, and watching people take pictures of all our stuff, but it was worth it. But like, we've been there at every other Skagtober before, and my thought was the Skag needs a little bit of a break, so we'll keep 3 bikes off the Skag from the 300 that were ripping it up.
Yeah, that field that's done for a year or two.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no going back. That was
Lingham
so wet.
Kind of hurt. We definitely need to find some new Skag around or adventure off of the already beaten path of Lingham and find some new fields.
The first field's still in good shape because it was so wet that nobody really wanted to go in it. But it was
Lingham's hit or miss for their fields. It's either there'll be some really good fields that are dry and you can ride, like not dry but moist, and you can still get a decent few rips out of. And then there'll be other ones that are just completely submerged in water, and everyone's like, no, I ain't going in there. And yeah, like, I think my favorite part of Lingham, of riding there, would probably be like mid-August, because you can still get like a lot of wet fields, but you get a lot of like the dry, wheelie Skag fields that you can actually turn up in and get some good footage in and stuff like that.
No, I think that's when I'm going to come next year, is like dead of summer, so that everything is kind of dry and actually have a good Skag experience, because that was not a good first Skag experience. Yeah. And I will not be bringing crush locks with me.
Yeah, October is definitely our wet season for Lingham. And definitely with you with crush locks for your first experience was probably not the weekend to come with Skagtober.
And I didn't even think about it. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Like, I had so many friends that would lend me their 32s on beadlocks and shit like that.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't bring any. I would have been better off with fucking cryptids or
Yeah,
like Mega Mayhems or something.
literally something with some air pressure in there.
Something with some surface area.
Yeah.
So what do you got done to that thing sitting behind you anyways? I don't know anything about what you got behind you, and I don't know if anybody else does, but unless you want to keep it a secret.
No, not really. So it's a 20 Renegade, XMR 1000. I got STM 3RS primary with an STM secondary. I'm running Gates Redline belt, Dyno Jet PV3 tuner, and I got 32-inch assassinators that are cut scoop, and the guys down south call it a hater cut because it goes all the way down to the bead. So when I got them cut, they started at 79 pounds, and that's 79 pounds tire and rim. And after they were cut, they weigh 59 pounds per tire and rim.
Holy shit.
And they were cut by Dan Bennett, he's just started his new page, which is Canadian Custom Cuts or something like that. I can't remember offhand, but it's Dan Bennett. He did a pretty good job. And then the other set of tires I run on it is 33 Aztec on 18-inch fuel rim. I have RJWC Shorty single pipe, and that's about it, other than like bar risers and gas cap and shifter knob.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. She's sitting stock height, other than like cranked up suspension and FTP floorboards.
And you haven't touched the motor or anything like that yet?
No.
Do you plan on doing that, or you just like it the way it is?
So I'm probably not gonna touch this motor. I have another 1000 motor, and I might send that off and get it fully built, but I'm still kind of on the fence about that. I don't know. I like the big power, but I don't like messing around with the motor and all that shit, like what Fleeter has done and all those boys.
Yeah, trying to keep up with Fleeter is a hard task.
Yeah. Like, I'm not really out there for like going fast and all that shit. Like, my bike does really well for what I need it to do. It performs fantastic in the Skag. And I love to do like dry wheelies. So I'm pretty much every ride I'm out there just trying to perform wheelies better. Like, I'm pretty much at the point that I'm like crawling along at like 2 kilometers an hour and doing hand drags and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all I go for is just wheelies and Skag, and I mess around in the deep water, like when we go south. Oh, there's my buddy CJ, Willie Make It Off-Road. But yeah, once we go south, it's like I'm just out like at Hogwaller, for example, like on RPM Alley, the famous RPM Alley that everyone knows. I'm just out there doing wheelies down the straight stretch and then playing around in the deep water. And then this year, my Jesse Hood couldn't come down for the full trip, so it was just me and Wellesley down there at Hogwaller. And the full strip from Gator Hole to Tiger Hole, it's usually meant for like big, huge buggies on like 46s or King Boss Squad on his 63s, floating across those holes. Well, there's the two lonely Canadian boys on an Outlander and a Renegade crossing Gator Hole, right up to Tiger Hole, hitting every single hole. And pretty much I was gash deep the whole way across on the Renegade, and I was shitting bricks. But we're there for a good time. If I swamp my bike, I don't really care. It'd be the third time that bike has been swamped.
See, that's one thing I can't do. I fucking hate going deep. Even though my snorkels are 6 feet high, if I get to the bottom of them, I kind of just, I don't know, I just fuck, because it's an Outlander. It's so heavy, like you hit a bad spot and you're going down. There's no fucking jumping off it and floating it. It's going down. It's a submarine.
And my buddy Luke, he's got an Outlander, but he's got we built them last year at the Swamp Ranch, and they're pretty much the exact same snorkels as what Colt Gene has on his Outlander. So we built the exact same on Wellesley's bike, and I'd say standing beside the bike, they're probably like 5'5" to the top of them, and at one point crossing one of the holes in between Gator Hole and Tiger Hole, I'm watching Luke in front of me, and he's going across in a water wheelie, and then all of a sudden hits like a weird rut, and the bike's pretty much sideways, and that snorkel was like that far from going under, and all you see is him underwater pushing the bike back straight and crawling out of the hole. And then he looks at me and waves me through, and I'm like, fuck that. And then I eventually watched a buggy cross, and I found like a smoother way across, and I crossed that.
So I'm like 5'7".
Yeah.
They're taller than me.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a lot of room for error, but I don't like getting close to that error point.
You'd be fine in that Gator Hole. You just have to keep it like 12 o'clock or like 11:30.
I want to get good at the hand drags like you do. Like my first ever one-handed wheelie was today when I made that video of me giving the finger while I was wheeling, and I really want to. It's hard to keep it slow. You know what I mean? Like I don't have rear brakes. I've never had rear brakes. I just don't bother changing the fucking things. So it's kind of difficult to
more rear brakes than I do front brakes.
Yeah, because you can actually control your tilt and everything with that rear brake, whereas I have to use the throttle and try to maintain it. But
yeah, it took me a while and a lot of like plants straight 12 o'clock, or like me getting to that point and kind of sketching out and just letting off and coming back down. But I've just kind of got to the point that as soon as it comes up, like what you did in that video that you did today, that I just tap like the rear brakes once to slow me down, but then I'm just using my throttle and just working my throttle and just like kind of walking along. And then I just, because I'm usually when I'm one-handed, I'm just using my hand, like my throttle hand. I got my foot jammed underneath my brake, like my foot pedal, and underneath my clutch box, and that's what like holds me. But it's pretty much just finding your balance point on the bike.
Oh, it's just practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
But I definitely cheat because I have this thing. Fuck. So I don't mind that stock exhaust. I have this thing. It's a big fucking bar, so I can never go ass over tea kettle. So I can gun that thing right. That's like 8,000 RPM, and I can just drag that back thing, and I stay like that.
I got a tiger tail in the back of my bike in the hitch. And that's, once I get at like 12 o'clock, I'm pretty much dragging that. Like when I'm doing my hand drags, it's pretty much just dragging the tiger tail along the ground. But I've noticed having a hitch in my bike also helps me when the bike stands straight 12. Because then it's not like sitting right on my exhaust, because I'm just center port right out the back bumper on mine. So like when I stick my bike straight 12 o'clock, it doesn't stuff my exhaust and shut it off.
Yeah. So did you go right to the scooped assassinators, or did you try them normally first?
No, I tried them normally first.
So is it well worth the money to get them scooped and grooved and shit like that?
100%. 100%.
So I want to do that with 34s, but the only problem with an Outlander with 34s, you have to rip out your headlights.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to do that because I want to get neutrinos. So I might just stick to a 32 on beadlocks with. I want to get them cut by D's Cuts.
Yeah.
Brandon just got his done by him, and holy shit, did they look good.
Oh yeah, he is clean. And I've met him once when we went down south, and he's a super nice guy, super chill, and he does fantastic work.
Oh, like Brandon sent me pictures, and it was like, I don't know how they do it, but holy shit, was it ever clean. Like every cut, like.
Oh yeah, it's just one guy. That's all it is. It's just one guy that does it by himself in a garage.
Well, that must be like his full-time job, because he does he does a lot of the bounty hole bikes down there.
All
and
he does is bounty hole bikes. He does all the like all the race trucks down there, all the swamp buggies. He does quad tires, side-by-side tires. He does everything. And that's all he does, is just cut tires.
I only wanted to do 34s because that is the biggest tire you can run in small tire bounty.
Yeah.
Is a 34. And I was talking to Super ATV, and the goal is to go down, I don't know, North Carolina, South Carolina. I got to wait till their event list comes out for 2023. But like my dream is to enter a small tire bounty at one of those events. So I'm kind of building this thing to be able to compete.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm doing the nitrous and the fully built motor and shit like that. Like, I want to, like, come on, that'd be fucking sweet.
Oh.
Like, you pull up to that starting line and they announce your name and shit. And, like, just, I don't know, some fucking white boy, country boy from Canada comes down and maybe takes home the win. That'd be fucking awesome.
Big money down there, man.
That's what I'm saying. And I wouldn't even care about the money. It would just be like, I grew up watching that shit. Like that's what I watch, is those bounty hole videos. And like, there's one guy on a Renegade. He always wins because he has so much fucking nitrous. He doesn't even touch the
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that's. I think that's AJ with the Renegade.
I don't know. He always wears like just shorts, no shirt, no shoes. He just hits the nitrous and he skips over it and he wins. It's like, holy fuck.
Oh, yeah, that's my plan, to probably go to a couple of those events next year. But I want to also go to, like what we talked about, I want to go to Bushville Beach for Mud Bash next year.
Like, that would be insane. Like, I've seen all of, like, Braden Price's videos of him going there, and it's fucking nuts.
Party. It is a party. Like
why doesn't Canada do anything? Why don't we have anything like that down here? Like, we're just as big as U.S. pretty much. Like, why the fuck don't we have shit like that?
We don't got shit around here. I'd say the only one, not even remotely close to anything that the States, like what I've seen, like Hogwaller or RYC, like there's North Augusta, but it doesn't compare to like anything the States have. Like, they try to make it seem like it's somewhat down south, but man, like Hogwaller, for example, there's for Turkey Bog, it's 24-hour riding. It's over 1,000 acres of ATV and side-by-side trails, and people party like all night, all day long, all throughout those 1,000 acres. Like, you can be riding through all this bush and just come up to this like giant concert that's just pretty much thing, but it's just like anywhere from like 10 side-by-sides and quads to like over 100 just surrounding this hole, and just people playing music and just partying. And then there's like truck racing, there's there's food right on site, there's a general store, there's park places, all that like right out of Hogwaller. And then there's RYC, which is just like a giant party area. It's pretty intense, which are like Redneck Yacht Club, and like it's not so much of a riding park, it's more of like a party park. But there is like a lot of riding there, but not anything towards like what like Hogwaller or Bushko Beach or any of those like major parks down there. But like I wish we had shit up here.
It's weird. We don't even have like one actual ATV park.
No, we don't.
And like it would be booming if you put one in like Ontario or something like that. It'd be booming every weekend. Like,
oh hell yeah, it would be.
Why the fuck are we so like far behind the times in that community?
Like, I'd say the only like there is North Augusta, which is in like out towards Ottawa, but they're not open every single weekend. And then the only other thing is like way out towards like Ottawa. I think it's like FRCC or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen some of his videos, but that's not even a park either. Like, these guys have full on parks with like different holes everywhere, and like it's literally acres and acres of mud hole after mud hole. Like, you wouldn't need to fucking go anywhere else.
Like Hogwaller, like, man, you can. I've been there 2 years in a row, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I have not seen probably. I'm gonna say like probably like a quarter of that park I have not explored yet. But like, it's huge. It's like we go for Turkey Bog every year. It's a 4-day event from Thursday to Sunday, and 24-hour riding. And I had like the quad down there and my buggy, and Luke had his quad down there, and I explored and rode all 4 days that we were there, and I still got lost around there at night. Like, I'd turn a corner and I'd be like, where the hell am I? And I'd cross this hole and I'd be like, yep, that was a completely new hole. Because then I'd find a whole nother trail and I'd turn down there. And that's how big this park is down there. And that's how big parks are down there. Like, you can get lost down there. It's crazy.
So do you plan on actually doing the May Long Run?
Out to Asta?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, we need to. I know I'm not Team Mudday, but I'd love to fucking roll with you guys, me and Diesel Dilly, because we already have it off work. We have it all planned out pretty much. Not like where we're stopping and shit, but I mean, that'd be fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. And what I've been talking a little bit with Fleeter and a little bit with a couple of the other guys, and I've obviously been talking with the guys in the team, and Luke usually is thinking he probably can't come because he only takes time off for our Florida trip for work, so he's out. But Jesse, my other buddy in the team, he's for sure coming. So that leaves like one space in my trailer that like one of the South of Six boys or someone can load up in here with me. And then I'm going to hook up to the trailer with I have a 42-foot diesel pusher RV that I'll be taking out west with us. So that's what I'll be rolling in.
So it'd be cool just to fucking, I don't know, stop at all the hotels we stop at together when we stop,
Yeah.
and just make it a full like week party fucking trip. Like, because me and Dilly have 48 hours each way.
Yeah. Yeah, and then my plan is once we get out there, because I've already been talking with Dave, like Austin Cruiser, and he's like over an hour to the closest hotel where he lives now. So my plan is why I'm taking the bus is because then I can just set up camp right at his place. And then like if like anyone wants to bring tents or anything, he said they're welcome to set up tents around his place or sleep inside the shop or whatever.
Oh, he was great. He like, because I was talking to him, and he said even if we bring our wives, he's like, we'll throw them in the Sherp, and they can drink all day and watch you guys playing mud. But they couldn't get it off work, so it's just me and Diesel Dilly now. So we'll sleep in the truck at his place, or we'll pitch a tent depending how fucking cold it is.
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
but even when you guys go, the next time you guys are going down the United States way, let me know, because I wanna roll out. If one of your boys can't make it, if you do more than one trip next year, I'll meet you in Ontario, because I love the whole. It's the only way you're gonna get your fucking name out there. It's the only way you're gonna experience and like live your life is if you leave your current area. Like, and I want to go down there so bad.
It's a completely different world down there, man. Like, it's hard to explain the world that's down there. That's different than up here. And like everyone down there in the ATV world or community that's down there, everyone that we've met, literally open us Canadians with open arms, and they want to hang out with us and they want us to come back. And this being our second year at Hogwaller, I had so many people come up to me, and I'm sorry if some of them are in this chat right now. I did not remember them for the life of me when they walked up to me, but they remembered me like it was yesterday that we were there, and that was awesome to have them.
Oh, it's the same thing as when I went down to Skagtober. Like, the amount of people that came up to me at the Skag Field,
Yeah.
I don't remember their names, and it was just like hanging out with Colin and the SO6 boys. Like, they treated me and Dilly like family, even though we're all still Canadian. It was still 18 hours away for us. It was like we were home, but in a completely different province. It was fucking unreal.
Oh yeah.
But no, we'll be talking after this, and yeah, let's try to get something planned out, because I doubt Dilly will come, but no, I want to go either to some type of bounty hole event, or like you said, like Busco Beach, or even the Turkey Bog we could plan for, and I'll come up, and there's no room for me in the trailer, I'll take my own truck. I'll just have my bike in the back of the truck.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely figure something out, man. Yeah, like Turkey Bog is a blast, but there's also other events that like big events at Hogwaller too. Like they got, their biggest event at Hogwaller is Super Bog, and that's like right around like Super Bowl weekend. But then their second biggest event is Turkey Bog. But then they also have like New Year's events and middle of like 4th of July weekend and all that.
Oh, I imagine that would be a big one, 4th of July.
Oh yeah. But then like Bushko Beach, like I want to go there for my bash. And
When is that at? What month is the Busco Beach one?
I think it's somewhere in like May, or no, I can't remember offhand.
I hope it's a little later than May because I can't do 2 big trips in May. That's too much fucking driving.
Research on the Busco Beach one or Busco Beach, but I know it's earlier in the year than like my trip, like what we just did, and but yeah, I'll definitely let you know whatever I find out.
Yeah, because I'd be good for like July, August, September, October, just because May long is the end of May, so we wouldn't be getting back till almost June anyways, right? Like pretty much end of May, so yeah, I'd be good for like end of June, July, August, something like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely find out, and I'll let you know.
I'll be a temporary fucking Team Mud A member.
Sounds good.
Fucking spray paint the Green Monster fucking red.
Yeah.
Get the old rattle can out.
Oh yeah.
But I hate to cut this podcast short, but I got to go have supper with the family. Is there anybody that you want to shout out before we call her quits?
No, I think I'm good. Just Team Mud A.
Team Mud A, 100%. And I'll message you right after the podcast because I need some Team Mud A gear. I want to rep you guys down this way.
Sounds good, man.
And I'll just give a shout out to Team Mud A. Thank you very much for coming on this podcast. I appreciate it. I know I'm not big yet, but we're going to keep this shit rolling, and I'll have you back on here for a part 2.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries. All right, everyone. That was episode 9 of the Behind the Bars podcast with Team Mud A. Have a good night, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
Out.
Peace.